Hello and welcome back. I'm Jordan, here with my best friend Sam, and this is Two Cups Between.
Well, how are you?
Oh, you know.
This week, first of all, this week took.
Wait.
What?
We need to talk about our intro. We're not.
I don't know, Jordan.
Bitch,
Like,
we're not
can we
starting.
can we just can we just do it? Like, is it that
No.
deep?
We at least need to be like, this is our first episode. We need to
I
be like,
know. Like, can we
I'm
just
Jordan.
be like, ew.
Yes, I know it sucks, but you gotta introduce yourself,
Can we
establish the
introduce
brand.
each other?
Sure.
That's also a little cheesy.
Do you want to be like like, that's Samantha?
Yeah. No.
Do you want me to say Samantha? Do you want me to say Sam? What do you want?
Why would you? Okay, we've been friends for like 9 years.
I know.
You can't just pick one.
I mean, I just did. I said, that's Samantha.
I know. It sounded kind of weird.
Okay, that's Sam.
You know, hold on.
Uh-huh.
Didn't you say, you know what? You said that we should do a bestie tag. Do people start those videos introducing each other?
No, they introduce themselves.
Oh, God, okay. I guess I have to be responsible for myself.
Yes, you do need to be responsible for your own intro.
See, now I understand why Crystal and Kid Fury introduced themselves as someone else. Like, I feel like
it's much easier,
funnier, and just like less cringe. But like, it's not like we could steal that idea.
No,
but who would you be? I'm just kidding.
If I could be someone else right now,
oh
my God, who would I be?
I was gonna say Rihanna, but she has a whole child.
No, but you know what? I was gonna say Blue Ivy Carter. So we're on the same page.
Wait, hold on. Actually, Blue Ivy Carter is really iconic right now.
She is,
like,
fully.
She's so much older. Okay, did you see the video of her
listening to the read, in Dubai? Full disclosure, before,
and you were like, "How did she? How did she age?" No, just like, bitch. Yeah. No, I mean when Beyonce was in Dubai.
Yeah,
and she
exactly.
and I was like, "Well, how old is this child?" I thought she was perpetually 6 years old.
Yes, I would have introduced myself as Blue Ivy Carter because I was just listening to them talk about the Dubai show that Beyonce performed for 1 hour and got paid $24 million.
Oh, yeah, kind of ridiculous, right?
Like, are you kidding me? I mean, Cardi B did an hour-long show pretty recently, like a private show for a business conference or something, and only got paid $1 million. Oh, Beyonce got $24 million.
Even $1 million would have shook me to the core. If you
I know.
Wow.
Wild, actually wild.
Yeah. How is that okay?
I don't know.
That's literally $4 million, what, for 10 minutes? Because it wasn't that long of a show, right? Like, what?
It was 1 hour. Yeah, $4 million to perform for 10 minutes.
Yeah. And according to Twitter videos, it seems like only 2 songs, but I'm sure it was more than that. I'm sure it was more. I'm just like, did the song just go on for 30 minutes? It does seem like it did, so.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Well, I guess I could still be Rihanna. I could be Rihanna's baby that's blooming inside of her.
Rihanna's unborn child.
Oh, my God. Wait. We can put this in. But can we talk about how obsessed people were about Rihanna being pregnant? Like,
look.
Well, they were like, I didn't even know she was pregnant.
Well, we didn't know she was pregnant with her first child until she was like 6 months pregnant. Like, what did you expect?
Oh my God. These are real life conversations, okay? I can't be too specific. But people were like, I just thought she was rocking postpartum weight proudly. And I was like, okay. And then someone else was like, no, she would have gotten a trainer before performing for the Super Bowl. And I was like, why are we so obsessed? Did you see the dancers? Did you see that they were all little spermies fertilizing a womb.
Exactly. She is dressed in red. The
Didn't you see that it
womb.
was bangers for the entire time? I don't understand why we're not talking about this, but
Right.
instead we're like, does she have a belly or is she pregnant? Like, shut
I just
up.
like while I don't disagree that, had she not been like to ASAP, like, let's have another baby right now, immediately upon giving birth to our
Yeah,
first
I don't know if
child.
that's how it went. But that's
Had she not
right.
immediately gotten pregnant again,
Yeah.
she probably would have had a trainer. But also Rihanna has been skinty.
I don't know. Is she the type to do that?
I mean, I do remember actually one period of time where people were like, Rihanna got fat, but
oh yeah, I remember
then
that
she
too.
looked normal. Like, she looked normal.
Yeah,
And like then
she just ate food. Probably.
Exactly. She just like ate comfortably, and then she like, I guess, lost that weight again. I don't know. But like, she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
She's too powerful for you. She's too famous.
She's still slayed. She dances better than you.
Exactly.
Okay.
She is a mogul. A billionaire.
She does
I don't
not
know if she's a
care about
billionaire
making
actually.
your album.
She doesn't give a fuck.
She will not make you an album.
She won't do
Get it somewhere else. Also, all of her songs are still so good.
Still, to this day.
You can make a playlist. It'll be multiple hours
exactly.
of bangers.
Here's
don't know
the thing.
What?
Also, my Rihanna hot take is that Rated R is an underrated album. That is my favorite Rihanna album.
Yes. It is a good
Rated
one.
R was full of like experimental sound before that was cool, or like experimental for her, I should say. Like before that was a thing that artists did. Like that was way before
Honestly,
Lemonade, which was Beyonce's
albums,
experimental album. Like
right.
Like Rated R has a rock song. It has like, of course, her hip hop bangers. It's got like an Afrobeat song on it. Te Amo is one of my favorite songs on the album. Like Rated R is an underrated Rihanna album, and I just like, I need people to appreciate her more for what she has given us.
They're not gonna do it.
They're never gonna let go of more new music when she's given us banger after banger after banger. Perfect albums, start to finish. And also Anti, her last album was incredible, impeccable, a masterpiece of an album.
It's funny because she really cranked the albums out one after the other, but they weren't bad. Like they were good, and they had good B-sides.
Right. She cranked those albums out to get out of her contract, and then she was like, I've now made my money,
I'm free
and now I can do what I want. Anti was like the album, coming out of that.
Right.
And then, and now she has Fenty Beauty. She has Savage X Fenty. She has her bougie Fenty, luxury line.
Yeah. What is it called?
It's called Fenty, I think.
Oh, okay. Just kidding.
Because it's Fenty Beauty, Savage X Fenty, and then Fenty, I'm pretty sure, is the luxury line.
I thought you mean the luxury fashion?
Yes, her luxury fashion line.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's not like I can afford it. It's not like I can afford it. I'm not even going to look it up. I don't need to see it.
Oh, wait. That's actually been put to an end. Oh yes, because it was like Louis Vuitton, the parent group of Louis Vuitton, the whole house was funding her clothing line.
I see.
And they just like pulled the funding in 2021, so like beginning of the pandemic, which tracks.
So much money.
She's still making an incredible amount of money.
Why would she make you ungrateful people an album?
The Navy is honestly asking for too much.
I forgot that they're the. I always
Let's
forget
be real.
That they're the Navy.
So, how are we introducing
that was
ourselves?
a tangent. Is that what this is about?
Now that we've talked about Rihanna for 10 minutes.
I don't know. This is like literally the worst.
Okay, I'll start. Are you ready?
No. What are you gonna do?
I'm Jordan.
That's it?
That's it. All you have to do is say your name, bitch.
Okay.
I'm Jordan.
Oh, is that a test run or is that
Bitch, give me something to work with.
How
say your name.
I don't. We forgot
his name. Say your name.
Oh my god, Destiny's Child.
I'm crying. Tears in my eyes.
Oh my god.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Samantha.
And this is Two Cups Between. Is that what our podcast is called?
Yeah. Do you want to explain?
Do I want to explain?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I think you should explain it. You came up with it. You should explain.
I did not. Oh.
Yes, you did.
You know what? I may have. Well, okay. I might give a whole 30-minute lecture on why it's called that.
Try to make it as brief as you can.
Well, the two of us have been friends for a long time, and I think we bonded over being some tarot bitches. We're into some tarot,
indeed,
astrology, etc. We happen to be a Virgo Pisces bestie duo. The world can't handle.
No.
The world simply cannot handle it.
No.
And I think when we were like learning about tarot, we really connected to the Two of Cups card, which is about, I don't know. It just embodies like a soulmate-y partnership.
Very, very that.
Yeah, it can be about
a
love.
Dynamic duo.
It can be platonic, but it's just like a very understanding partnership that just complements each other very well. And it felt very us at the time, but that was so early on, and I think it's just been confirmed over and over again over the years.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
That we're Two of Cups bitches. I don't really know how else to put it. I'm going to be honest with you.
So yeah, I that's kind of part of it. And then I also think we really relate to being in between two cultures. Or, well, I don't know. How do you want to put it? I feel in between two cultures as a very confused immigrant child.
I mean, for me, it's between two identities, like being mixed, black and white. But I am black. let me reiterate.
To clarify.
For the people in the back, I'm a black person.
Yeah, before they ask. Because
before
honestly, why are you asking? Stop asking.
I'm black.
And I'm American. Even though I'm also Sri Lankan. Before you ask, please don't ask.
Please don't ask. Anyway. Like, I feel definitely between two identities, two cultures. Let's be real. In America, being black or being white is culture. Like, there's a huge amount of cultural significance wrapped up in your race in this country, which we could argue about forever. Like, we won't argue, but we could discuss forever
we'll get into it.
Eventually we'll talk about this. Maybe not today, but
yeah.
I do think, like, both of us being in between these two identities, being the tarot and astrology bitches we are, like, it's just, this title kind of came to us. Well, we've been friends for almost a decade, and I swear to God, like, you saying that the world's not ready for our like Pisces Virgo duo, like, that's why we met later in our lives. We would have been far too powerful if we had each other to gas each other the fuck up when we were
teenagers.
Younger. Yes, we would have been far too powerful. So God had to nerf us, and we had to meet boring bitches, people
speak for yourself.
who don't appreciate us. It's true. You have not boring friends. We had to meet people who didn't appreciate us for who we were.
Okay, that's
the
facts.
Way we were.
Facts.
To like, you know, teach us to be a little humble and insecure. Because now we're still humble and insecure, but we can combat it with just our relationship alone, the buoyant nature of our companionship. We can usually gas each other up and get over it if we need help.
We try.
We try, yes.
I'd be drowning. I don't know. This is a lot.
Okay, another thing we can get into, but you don't call me when you need help, so.
Okay. Whoa. You know what?
What?
Yeah, thanks for that observation. I'm not going to internalize it. We can talk about it. It's probably a big theme in therapy that I'm still trying to like crack it open.
Right.
We'll get into it.
We will eventually. Again, not today, but eventually. This is just a little taste.
Yeah, this is just a taste. We're gonna keep it. We should try to keep it light.
I think so.
Even though this week has been
heavy. Woo, yeah, Lord.
What's happening?
The weight upon me.
I don't even know what to do with it. I mean, I know why. It's because we're transitioning from Aquarius to Pisces season, which is a good time because Aquarius season is quite a lot.
Aquarius season sucks ass, okay?
But the thing is, we're gonna go from like the mentally heavy to emotionally deep.
Okay,
I don't even know if yeah, go ahead. Tell me as a Virgo how you view Pisces season. I would love to know.
I was literally saying this earlier this week to one of our mutual friends. We're shifting into Pisces season finally this weekend. Amazing, incredible, thrilled, honestly, because like as fucking taxing as Aquarius season has been, as this week has been, like there is emotional catharsis in Pisces season that we do not get the privilege of in Aquarius season.
Yeah.
Like it's so in your head, like you said, mentally taxing for the whole time. And then finally Pisces season is like, cry it out. Okay, then we're going to go into Taurus season, luxury. And not only are the astrological seasons changing, the physical seasons are changing. Okay?
Yeah, good point.
We're finally going to get some fucking sunshine. All right? We can go outside. It'll be warm.
Yeah,
and pleasantly warm. So like we're just finally shifting in like a good direction for internal, external, universal shifts that will make everybody feel a little bit better.
For sure. It's interesting because, I mean, you say that. I'm living somewhere where it's sunny all year, but that effect does not necessarily go away. And I've heard someone online talk about this as like, it's just like a cover up for the still seasonal changes that are happening.
Right.
And also like, you know, I might be in a beautiful tropical sunny place, but I'm still working very hard all the time. It's not like a vacation summery time.
Absolutely.
You know? So yeah, I think you're right that it does it still fluctuates. Well, if you think about it, our society modeled the fluctuations of the year off of the seasons. So we're still going to, you know, imitate that wherever we are.
And yet it almost feels like they didn't, right? Because like in theory, in the winter, let's say in like an agrarian society, right? Like what all of this is based on.
Right.
Like in the winter, there's no work. Like not outside at least. Of course you have like things to maintain and stuff like that, but like the work is not nearly as heavy as the summer.
Definitely.
Whereas like we kind of flip that and it's like, oh, work harder through the winter. And then in the summer, you can whatever, unless you live in America, and then you get no fucking vacation. And you're not allowed to go anywhere.
Oh
Like,
no. I miss
if
a
you
good
don't
summer vacation.
right. Like, as an adult, you don't get summer
Ugh,
vacation. So take
yeah.
vacation all year round. but
Yeah. Yeah.
but right, like it's so weird cuz like you're like, "Well, I have nothing to do in the winter, might as well work more." No, bitch,
I,
work less.
I know.
We're all sadder, okay? Like
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
your winter is, like
I guess it's not really society that's modeled on. It's almost like our collective circadian rhythm to be like, oh
mhm.
well, it's time to be fucking sad and eat all the time.
Yes.
But
It's
then
time to eat.
society's like, actually, you need to buy expensive presents for everyone you know, or you're an asshole. Just so you know.
Exactly. Oh
Um,
my god.
but yeah, so a seasonal transition is what's happening this week. So I
Mhm.
think it's kind of chaotic. Um, like I went into this week being so well intentioned to,
Mhm.
do things more and work on things and
Mhm.
uh not even I'm not even trying to be like super productive because I think I get in a cycle when I try to do that, but I'm just trying to manage my time better so I have better resting time.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So
Mhm.
but that's just been really really hard.
Yes.
And I don't it's like it's not going to get better next week cuz I have an exam next
Right,
week. So
right.
it's not like I'm going to perfectly make it better all
Mhm.
at this time, but
Yeah.
once we get over that hill, then I can enjoy Pisces season to its fullest, at least,
Mhm.
for a moment.
Right.
At least for a moment, maybe my birthday.
Mhm.
Maybe I can enjoy my birthday. Um but yeah, I guess we'll see.
Right.
Um yeah.
I had a 3-day week and I pushed myself to work pretty much every day right
Mm,
after I got home from
yeah.
vacation.
Yeah.
And then this week I
That
was trying to do the same thing, but I didn't change my sleep schedule from when I was on vacation.
See, sleeping like let's talk about sleeping because she's a bitch and I hate her.
I know, but I love her. Her
I
sweet
know.
embrace. You know what I
But
mean?
I
Like,
just feel like I tried to go to sleep at normal times a couple
mhm.
times, this
Yes.
week,
Mhm.
and it just made me like so drained. Like I was like, "Oh, I'm finally resting," and I just would take it too far and be tired the next day.
Mhm.
I almost need
Yeah.
to like not sleep well to wake up early enough in the morning, which
It's
is
so
so fucked.
weird. I don't know. It's like trying to go from sleeping for 4 hours to trying to sleep 10 hours to make up
Oh
for the
god.
4-hour sleep. Like,
Yeah.
it literally doesn't work, right? Like,
It's so bad.
it's just not something that works. And, like, you feel like it should work or, like, it should be easier because you're like, "Oh, I haven't been sleeping, so let me sleep for this really long period of time and it'll be fine." But then your body is like, "Well, we've been running on
Like
4, 3,
nothing.
5 hours of sleep,
Yeah.
and now you did what?
Right.
Fuck you." Now we're confused. So,
Yeah, I'm
like
certain I've seen a TikTok about this.
right.
Where it's almost like you're telling your body like, okay, we've been stressed out working in the coal mines for weeks,
Right,
not getting
right.
sleep, and like being, I mean, speaking for myself, like drugged up on caffeine. I've been very dependent on caffeine
Mhm.
lately. And then trying to be like, oh, well, let's get regular sleep and like meditate in the morning. My brain is not prepared to do
Right.
that.
It's like brain whiplash, okay? Like,
Yeah. And
you
then,
can't go from beating your body up like that to then trying to give it tender love and care when it's like, but wait, now we know how to function on this like abuse.
right.
So,
And then I'm trying to do the tender loving care and still get work done when my
mhm.
body's like, oh, we're finally getting a break. Like, we're in
Yes.
recovery mode now. And
Exactly.
it's like, no, I actually do need to do a bunch of stuff still. I thought this would make it better.
Mhm.
So it's kind of weird that it's not working out.
Yep.
Um, but yeah,
Ugh.
I'm hoping it'll even out soon. Also, what I was gonna say about Aquarius season is
Oh,
that
yes.
it's like, it's fixed air,
Mhm.
and while Pisces is mutable water. So it's
Right.
Pisces season, it shouldn't be heavy unless you're not able to communicate or somehow healthily express your emotions in any way, whatever it
Mhm.
is, like through art or sleeping or journaling or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
like Aquarius season is mentally heavy. Like all the stuff in the news that's been happening, and
Yes.
just, you know, Mercury is also being an Aquarius. I think we're all just
Oof.
information overloaded right now. Even if we're trying to disconnect from social media or whatever, it's like not really helping.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Because if you think about it, even if you're trying to detach from social media, but you're around people who are also being information overloaded, like you're going to feel the effects of that too. Unless you want to
Mm-hmm.
like go be a monk on a mountain, which I would love. Well,
Right.
sounds great, to be honest, but that's kind of what's going on, at least in my experience. I don't know about you.
Yes. Completely. I've been completely overloaded with information constantly. I feel like since the start of Aquarius season, right? And
Yeah.
like there are real issues in the world all the time though, but it just feels extra heavy right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. So, I
Yeah.
don't know why specifically things right now feel very heavy.
Yeah.
Um but it has just been like information dump after information dump, like remember this about this thing and don't do this other thing,
Oh, yeah.
like avoid this, look at that, here's another horrific headline, take that information, and like it's,
It's got to be Mercury. I cuz here's the thing.
mhm,
We've been going through a few heavy years.
yes,
That's an understatement.
right.
And even before 2020, I noticed Aquarius season was always like jam packed of like
Hmm.
headline after headline. And like, even though there is some pretty terrible stuff going on, I feel like comparatively, I don't want to say it's not as bad, but like what you're saying, it's hitting even harder. So I
Yes.
don't really, I think we're just like fed up with it. So
Yes.
that any news
Yeah.
story is kind of just, we're very sensitive to it right now.
Right after 3 years, 4 years
At
almost of,
least of
right,
bad
of like
headlines.
really horrific headlines every day, new whatever horrible record, like
Yeah.
of death and illness. Like I think everybody is a little bit more, not even that like we're sensitive to it, but it, like you said, it is just like such an inundation
Hmm.
of it that it's like we're coming to a breaking point, to a saturation point,
Yeah.
let's say,
Like
of
definitely tolerating it less.
awfulness.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh, and I think that's something that, like, specifically with some certain news that's been happening recently, I mean, it happens literally every day, more than once a day, but like all of the shootings that have been happening
Oh,
recently,
yeah.
like, it's just felt so awful because we've dealt so, how do I want to phrase this? Like, we've been so outspoken and out loud about gun violence, period, let alone
Mm-hmm.
for like my friends and community, it being a black person, like we're not even talking about the police violence,
Right.
period, but then just like the overwhelming number of shootings and like the senseless death
Mm-hmm.
occurring, that it just like that on top of like the disgusting, hateful, anti-Semitic, anti-Asian rhetoric that
Mm-hmm.
is proliferating the internet right now. Like I
Right.
don't understand. I
And
like it
like,
just hurts
it's
my brain.
always bad. Like, gun
Hmm.
violence is always happening, and
Right.
these hateful things are always happening.
Hmm.
But then when the headlines are just like, like you said, we're inundated with them one after the other
Hmm.
in such a short span of time, like way too short of a time for us to process it.
Yes.
And then you have like the earthquakes
Hmm.
in Syria and
Right.
Turkey, and
On
like,
top of that, natural disasters on top
yeah,
of
like
uh,
human things, and the stuff in Ohio. It's like, how am I
yes.
supposed, like, it's only been 2 weeks maybe of all of
Right.
these things.
How am I supposed?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know if Pisces season will make it better. I've seemed to always observe that it does.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at least as far as the world is concerned, but maybe for
Right.
individuals it can be a difficult time. It's a little more inward,
Mm-hmm.
you
But
know?
I think that's almost better because in Aquarius season we're so focused
Yeah.
outwardly
I
that
mean, yeah, it makes
having a
sense.
moment to spend some time with yourself, reflect inward,
Right.
make sure you're actually taking care of yourself,
Yeah,
just a
definitely.
personal check-in. Like
Right.
Pisces season is a good time for that. And like I said earlier, there's just an emotional catharsis to Pisces season in whatever way you express that. Like some people cry and that's fine. Like that's not really for me. but like
Oh
but
god.
like during Pisces season, especially because it starts to get warmer here, like for me where I live, like
Yeah,
it's a time I feel like I can go outside and reconnect and like
definitely. I think that's going to be
sit
so
outside.
so
Yes.
important.
Yeah.
Um and I don't know, Venus is in Pisces right now.
Mm.
I don't know how long it's staying there.
Is that why
To be honest,
everyone's
I'm a bad
so horny?
astrologer. Yeah, probably. Listen, I'm not gonna. When Venus entered Pisces, I was like, I don't have time. Like, I don't have time for this right now. Okay, I need to
Right.
calm down. I need to focus. It didn't happen that day. I'm not gonna. We're just like, but I think an interesting theme Pisces season, at least of what I'm observing now, is that
Mhm.
people will really, Venus will help people observe their boundaries in relationships, because I
Absolutely.
think that's a huge thing that Pisces and Pisces placements need to work on just
Mhm.
throughout their life. And I'm already seeing it. I feel like I've seen, you know, uh, besides just the horrible news,
Right.
a lot of what I've been seeing of content creators, at least when they're sharing their stories, a lot of people are sharing like what they're not going to tolerate in relationships anymore,
Mhm.
um, or even talking with their partners through something and
Mhm.
sharing it with people and people relating to it. And it's funny, I joined a therapy group that's literally focused on developing healthy relationships,
Mhm.
and not just romantic ones, but also with friends, with family, with yourself. And it started on the day that Venus and
Oh my
Neptune
god.
were conjunct in Pisces. And I think it was also the on Valentine's Day.
Oh my god.
So I think that's why Valentine's Day may have hit differently for people. I don't observe it like ever,
Right.
but maybe even for people in relationships, it felt less of like a this is a performative date night
Yeah.
or whatever society has told us it is. I think because of the astrology, people are really starting to observe how they view relationships, if they're overly jealous of people in relationships, and like
Mhm.
what they really want out of one. I also saw a lot of people who were like, I haven't been single in many, many years, and now I'm divorced, or now I'm broken up for the first time on Valentine's Day in a long
Wow.
time.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm experiencing it in a different way.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was a nice little preview of what Pisces season will be. It'll be much more inward.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just think very good for self love. And at least that's what I'm hoping for. People can
Mhm.
focus on those things. Um, take it us away from what's happening in the world and sort of view ourselves and like the people around us, how we're interacting with them.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I've been feeling a little disconnected from that myself too.
Right.
Oh, I really need to send you this TikTok, this girl's TikTok that I found, and I couldn't even like watch all of her TikToks. She's like basically just started it in the past week or two,
Uh-huh.
and she essentially started it because she's in college and was dating someone and recently broke up, probably like a few days before Valentine's Day. And
Mhm.
she's basically titled the all of her TikToks like, this is day 1 of me going no contact from someone who I thought I would spend the rest of my life with, or something
Oh
like
my
that, like someone
god.
who I
Mhm.
thought would be with me for the rest of my life. Something very dramatic to me, because
Yes.
because I've been single for so, the whole time.
Mhm.
The entire time. So, I think part of my fear of entering a relationship is that I would feel this like loss of myself.
Oh,
And I just really would dread the feeling of like breaking up with someone and being like, I don't know who I am without this person. Like, how do I spend my day? And
yes.
her TikToks are literally her being like, I used to on Fridays we would hang out after our classes. We would spend the whole weekend together, and now I
Mhm.
don't have any routine because my full
Yes.
routine was just centered around when I would
Mhm.
spend time with this person.
Mhm.
And so I don't even know what to do with myself. And it's just like, whoa. Like I don't know if I ever would want to experience, cuz I
Mhm.
love having a weekend where I don't have to talk to anyone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Cuz like that freedom to like structure my time
Yes.
is so important to me. And I there's such a narrative of that being selfish, which is just bizarre. But
Ye-
I just like, how do you manage that when you're in a relationship with someone else?
yes. Absolutely.
You
And
know?
here's the thing,
Yeah.
like a year, almost a year, which it feels weird to say. We're just about a year when I broke up with my ex of 5 years. Like I still don't know what to do with my time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've tried to fill it with work, like Twitch stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like hanging out with friends. Um, apparently I've tried to also fill it with a relationship. Um, which again is a very good one. So I'm not like upset that that happened. I'm
Right.
just like,
But you're still acknowledging that
yes,
part of it is like, part of that was to fill a void is what I'm
absolutely.
hearing. Yeah.
Absolutely. So like it wasn't the best way to get into a relationship. But anyway, I still don't know what to do half the
Irregardless.
time. Irregardless. Like I don't know what to do with myself a lot because like yeah, I would wait like, I would work, he'd get off of work, I would goof off with him for a little bit for my afternoon break,
Uh-huh.
whatever.
Right.
Then we'd like decide what we're making for dinner. I'd work a little bit more and then we'd have dinner and like I'd watch him play Call of Duty on the couch. Like but that was our routine. Like and it was
Right.
fine for
Right.
so long. But it's just like I didn't know I didn't know what to do when I left the house. Like I didn't know what to do with my time when I
Right.
moved out. I just really didn't know what to do.
Like you're almost paralyzed by the freedom
Yes.
of it.
I mean, I have ADHD anyway, so I already have decision paralysis, but give
Right.
me like I have to make my own schedule around me now?
Yeah.
What? What do I do?
I know.
Like it's still very hard almost a year later, very difficult. So like I completely get it how like yeah, and before like forget before we moved in together. When he was living I was living with my parents and he was living in like an apartment or whatever with
Mhm.
other people, like yeah, we would spend our entire weekends together. I would
Right.
leave my house on Friday night towards the end of his shift, go to his apartment and like be there when he got there and then we'd spend 48 hours together and then I would leave again. And
Right.
then we would do it again next week. Like all the time.
And I saw someone comment, like, I don't remember exactly what her narrative, like what she was saying, but she was
Mhm.
basically saying, like, I don't know what to do without him, and, using that kind of language. And someone
Mhm.
commented, like, you're not missing him, you're missing the routine,
Yes.
like, this routine that you had.
Yes.
Like, I can't even, she was like, I'm spending this morning, and usually I would spend my morning making plans for this
Mhm.
weekend with this
Mhm.
person. And like, even that I don't have. And like, I
Yeah.
don't know what to do with myself. And she would get home and she would be like, I don't have anyone to talk to,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's like I don't know what to do anymore. And I like, I'm very lucky that my parents let me move back in. Like So I have people to talk to, but like, I
Yeah,
love
it's
my
like not
family.
it's not the
Right. It's not the
same.
same. I love my family, but like, I don't want to talk to them at the end of the day. To be honest,
Yeah,
like,
no, I
I
get
don't
what
want
you
to.
mean.
So like, I just like, I don't know, because there is freedom in like living by yourself with someone, again, that like you thought you could spend the rest of your life with
Mhm.
in whatever capacity, and then like you lose them, by choice. I broke up with my partner, but it
Mhm.
was like still not, it wasn't easy to do,
Right.
and it's still not easy almost a year later.
Mhm.
I'm like still grieving it,
For
and I
sure, for
just
sure.
still sometimes I'm like, what do I do this weekend? Like,
Right.
normally we'd throw on Lord of the Rings and watch the whole series all weekend. Like, that's what we do. And like
And the thing
cook
is, like,
and hang out.
you can do that too. Like, you can still, it's like integrating the things that you enjoy
Yeah.
still, without someone else there to like validate. I don't know if it validates even the right word, but it's almost like I can't do an activity because I'm not doing it with someone else. But you can totally just
Mhm.
find, like, think of some things you like to do and just spend the whole day doing it. And
Yeah.
it's really hard. Like, even I have trouble because it's kind of like, oh, well, I should be doing something else with my time.
Right.
Like, I think everyone struggles with just planning out things that they enjoy to do by
Yeah.
themselves, because you
Mhm.
almost, I don't know, we get the narrative that it's either selfish or that,
Mhm.
like, that we're like a loser, for doing
Yeah.
stuff on our own. Like, there's so
Mhm.
much of a negative stigma about being alone,
Mhm.
interestingly, even though I just think it's so, when I see people living alone and like thriving, it's like the most empowering thing at the same time.
Right. I just like, I feel so conflicted about it because on one hand I'm like, girl boss, do whatever you want. Like, and on the other hand, it's like, I don't know what to do without another person. And that feels
Right.
like really bad to me. I'm going to be honest with you. It feels really bad, that I don't know how to function on my own anymore. But then again, I'm like, I never have, because I've always had
Right.
really too many friends, but
Like,
like I've always
how,
had lots of friends. So I always had stuff
let
to
me
do.
remind you, that in college people would come up to you and be like, "Let's hang out this weekend." And you would have to like thumb through a planner to make sure you weren't hanging out with someone else.
I
Okay?
know.
You had to pencil them in.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I've always had shit to do. Like, lots of friends, lots of places to be. Like, and this sounds really stupid and like very big head of me. Or like, I don't know, self-centered, or like big ego. I'm
Sure, sure.
struggling with the exact right word that I'm looking for. But like, that was my reality. Like,
Right.
at college and in high school, like I always had shit to do, friends to hang out with,
Oh yeah.
an event to go to, whatever.
Like,
So like having alone time
busy.
was, yeah, I've been busy for like 20 years, okay? like since, entering probably middle school, I've just been busy. And like now I'm at a point, I'm not in college. I don't have a traditional job. I
Mhm.
don't have a partner who lives near me. I don't have many friends who live near me. That's like a
Yeah.
huge one for me though. Like, I have, our mutual other best friend lives here,
Mhm.
but they work so much and are
Yeah,
so tired.
they're
I legitimately feel
ridiculous.
bad asking them to do stuff ever. I'm like, you need to rest. I need you to rest.
Yeah,
Like,
don't come over.
don't come over. I'm not coming to your house. You don't need my sad, depressed, boring ass at your house, okay? Like, I don't want to burden you with how sad I am. So I'm going to stay home,
Oh my
which
god.
doesn't help anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like not good at like going out and doing things by myself anymore. I don't feel comfortable doing that. And
Mhm.
this is also part of like the new pandemic social culture where
Oh my
like
god. Yeah,
we
that is
don't
true.
go out
Cuz
very much.
it's interesting that you talk about your upbringing and having like a lot of friends and a lot of things to do. And I definitely feel like I had more friends than I do now as a
Mhm.
teenager, but I spent so much time alone like growing up.
Mhm.
My sisters are, both almost 10 years older than me. So it's not like I was playing with them as a child. They were like not wanting to hang out with me because they were teenagers.
Mhm.
And so I just did a lot of playtime alone and I read a lot alone. And even in high school, I went to a different high school than my friends because I went to like this, magnet school. It was weird. We don't have to talk about it. We don't have to talk about that weird competitive environment that I was brought up in.
Mhm.
But a lot of my friends lived far away from me too, even at that age. And before we met in college, I took a break from school
Mhm.
because of mental health things, and I spent like a good year and a half alone. And
Right.
like I enrolled in a community college. I would go to class, like I would drive to classes. I would do all my homework and studying in the library. I would go to the gym and I would like come home and I was like really delving into spirituality and I would go to yoga
Mhm.
classes and stuff. And so I spent so much time alone and then coming back to college into a more social scene again, which is when we met. I
Right.
was like overwhelmed
Mhm.
with like people wanting to hang out all the time, and obviously I warmed up to it and we spent every day together
Yes.
just wreaking havoc in the library
Absolutely.
and going
Driving everyone bananas.
and well, I thought you were going to say driving to the beach at 3
Well,
a.m. because
yeah,
we
that
also
too.
did that. And then after college, I did the fucking Peace Corps.
Yep.
Like the most isolating thing you could possibly do.
Yes, indeed.
Um and I spent so much time alone, not like having work to do because it was very difficult to have structure.
Mhm.
I mean, learned so much,
Right.
but really had to spend a lot of time alone. I spent so much time thinking to myself,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know, it was like a bizarre amount of self-reflection for a human being. I don't even know how to explain it. And then
Right.
I come back to the US in a pandemic.
Yes.
So I'm convinced that I'm still not fully integrated back into that
Right.
society because it hasn't
Right.
really come back to its normal. I think people try to pretend that it has,
Yes. I mean,
but
this is like a new normal, I suppose, but this
for
is still
sure.
like not normal.
Yeah, but I think it's really shifted how we spend time with each other. It's
Yeah.
shifted how at least some workplaces have operated,
Mhm.
and schools as well.
Yes.
So you're right that it's like a new normal, but I just feel like way more isolated
Yes.
than I have, even
Mhm.
even among a lot of people. Like I'm
Mhm.
in a med school right now where it isn't common to see a lot of friend groups either. It's a
Mhm.
very interesting, like it people are seemingly in cliques, but no one's really close to each other.
Mhm.
As far as I've seen like people who are either in relationships or with like one best friend,
Mhm.
but there aren't many like groups that hang out together and seem very close. At least when I get to know about a friend group, there's so much drama and
Right.
everyone kind of hates each other. and and I have a decent friend group here, but I don't always relate to them either.
Right.
So it's very fun to hang out with them, and I think they're a, a lot of the times they're really great. They're very smart. It's nice to have people going through the same experience as you.
Mhm.
I felt the same way in Peace Corps, but it just feels so different. Like it does not feel the same as when we were in college and hanging out
Right.
with our friends.
Mhm.
And I just find myself thinking about getting into like a romantic relationship and being like, how do I possibly integrate my like daily life with someone else's without completely just losing myself and wrapping myself up into this relationship and not being able to focus on anything else.
Yes.
And so I think both of us are kind of struggling to even imagine the other, like, you know, the alternative life of
Yeah.
either like being on our own or being with someone else.
Right. Because like I really do want to be on my own, but for like, I don't know, it's like very selfish reasons. Like I just want to like not be beholden to anyone in any way, shape, or form, right? But
Yeah.
like that's not really possible. Let's be real, because I still have familial obligations. I love my friends and I still want to spend time with them.
Mm-hmm.
But like I almost feel like I think I'm gonna need Pisces season, and I'm gonna need to dedicate myself to like spending intentional time alone
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with me, to like reconnect with me, figure out what I want, where I'm going next, not talking to anyone else about anything that I think about during Pisces season. Let's be real. like
Oh, not
like
even me?
I'll talk to you about it. You don't count, okay?
Okay, sure. I'm
In a
just the
good way,
person.
you don't count.
I'm like the person in your head, basically.
Yes, you
Okay.
are my inner voice. Like you don't count as someone that I talk to about what I'm thinking. I'll talk to you about what I'm thinking about. But just like I just like need to keep my head down for Pisces season.
For
I need to
sure.
focus. I like ugh. I think right at the beginning of Taurus season, actually, we're going on a family vacation. So I have time through Pisces season to just introspect,
Yeah. Oh, that'll be good.
be thoughtful. You know, I'm
Yeah.
really like trying to get my journaling practice back in order. We're talking like, if not daily self reflection, at least like twice a week. I would love,
Yeah.
love to journal twice a
I
week.
mean, I've been loving doing a little tarot pull like daily. And
Right.
if I know the next few days are busy, I'll do it for the next, 3 days or whatever.
Yeah,
Um
I was doing that every day, and I've just like really fallen off, really
it's
fallen off.
hard to come back to it when you've stopped.
Mhm.
Cuz first of all, you're like, I don't want to hear what you have to say, tarot deck. um
Exactly.
and then also, like, it is a little bit of an energy expenditure to actually look inward. I would love to just be on autopilot.
Yes. Right. If you're
And
trying to
not.
like not think, not
Yeah.
process, because it's very hard to do so all the time, like picking up your tarot deck and actually working with it and
Mhm.
self-reflecting is incredibly difficult. So yeah, it feels like a lot, and I like to do it in the morning, so like trying to muster up the energy to pick
Oh,
up my tarot
waking
deck in the
up?
morning, it
Oh,
hurts, dude.
waking up? Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly.
Sounds like a no for me. But even though I've literally been doing it, but it's cuz I have no choice.
Oh god. I
I
literally did a poll at the beginning of the week. It was great. I got accidentally like 3 cards. It was so nice though. Like it was
I
such a
can
good
just
reading.
imagine them fumbling out of your hands. You're
They
like, "Well,
did.
I guess it's 3
I
cards."
guess it's 3. I mean, it was 2 in the bottom of the deck. I always take the bottom of the deck as
Oh,
reference, even
yes.
if I'm saying, like, this is a 1 card reading. It's really a 2 card reading because I
No, that's a
will
lie.
cross check the bottom of the deck, okay? It just is how it goes.
It's important.
It is, it's important. But, like, I, like, it was exactly what I needed that day. And then, like, some small thing fucked it all up. And I was like, no, I'm no longer persevering like the cards told me to, like I
Yeah,
really wanted to. I just
right.
blew off the rest of the day, like didn't do anything.
Oh, that's so relatable. I'm like, why am I feel like my tolerance,
Hmm.
or I don't know if it's resilience, because I think in general I am quite resilient
Right.
to a fault. But it's kind of like daily, if I'm set off, like, I'm just so sensitive these days. I'm so
Yes.
like hypersensitive in class
Hmm.
now. And oh my god, there's this girl in my group that, like, she is nice when I talk to her. It's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
but like every little thing she does is annoying as fuck, bro. And just like just sets me off and I just can't focus. And I'm like, I know that I am a nearly 28-year-old person and this should not bother me as much as it
Right.
does. Like
No,
I've tolerated
exactly.
way worse,
Yes.
you know? But for
Oh
some
my
reason I'm
God.
just like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm setting my expectations too high of like
Mm-hmm.
how focused and how on top of it I need to be. And then if anything sets it off, it just kind of like, you know, snowball effects into like,
Yes.
I can't do this anymore. Actually, I
Absolutely.
give up.
Actually, I quit. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Like, and that's how I was getting with my partner. I was like getting angry at every
Mm-hmm.
little thing he did. And I was like, that's not normal for me.
Right.
I need to be like very intentional about not being mad at him because I'm not actually mad at him. I'm internally set off about this other thing
Right, right,
and
right.
he's being himself. That normally would not make me angry at him.
Right.
And it has been. So
Right,
I'm
right,
like,
right.
something needs to shift here. I think, like, again, just Aquarius season, this inundation of horrific news, horrific people saying horrible things all the time. Like
Right.
every thought that comes into their head comes out of their mouth. There's no
Oh,
forethought or onto their keyboard and onto Twitter. Like
oh my god.
whatever it is, I think we're both just like kind of strung out, trying to deal with our own shit, but not being able to deal with it because there's too much external stimuli, and then like also then having to not like deal with each other, but also like manage our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming too much. It became too much for me. But we're like, really, I can feel Pisces season coming to soothe me. Okay. Like
Yeah.
I can feel it just rubbing, like taking away the harsh edges, just making me take a deep breath. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna look to see. Okay, Mercury enters Pisces on March 2nd. Quite soon. I
yes.
also think that will help so much because I remember the last time, I don't remember if this was the last time, but one time you were streaming, you were doing a tarot stream
Hmm.
when Mercury was in Pisces. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, but I feel like this is right. And because we were getting very like emotionally deep
Hmm.
with the readings. All of your readings were very deep. I think you were exhausted after after doing all these readings, and you were
Hmm.
making people cry. Like I just remember this. I don't know if you remember this. And I
This
was
has
like,
happened multiple times. So,
well, yeah, but
yeah.
I especially remember this one, and I feel like so many people were like, I needed this. Like, I don't know
Yes.
what, like, I didn't think all of these things would be brought up.
Hmm.
And I think it's just like a healing time, and it kind of doesn't feel heavy on each other
Yes.
during these kinds of transits in Pisces because I imagine it because, like, it's mutable water. If
Hmm.
you throw something into water, it floats away, kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
It's not really like sitting in one place.
Hmm.
So someone can take on, you know, you can vent to someone and they're also exchanging their emotions with you. So
Hmm.
it's a bit more equal, or at least
Yeah.
it's easier for it to be equal. So
Right.
I'm also hoping to get some kind of release because I just haven't had the space to do that, like
Hmm.
to kind of like uh to vent my feelings and really emotionally process right now because it's just
Hmm.
been very busy and just exhausting. But yeah, I'm definitely hoping it'll be better and that I can process like how I'm reacting to people because it's been rough. Like
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
I have
Um
truly had less and less of a tolerance for people's bullshit. Um,
and the thing is like alone time for me hasn't even really been solving it.
mhm.
So I just feel like
Mhm.
there needs to be like a actual active outlet
Yeah.
that I haven't really been able to access yet. So
Mhm.
hopefully that will come easily soon. This has just been a
so, dude.
weird fucking February.
It has been. It's been bizarre. I feel like I've been stressed out since February 1st.
I know. During Black History Month.
Oh, Black History Month. It's the shortest month of the year. I just am like, why do us this dirty? Why is it during Aquarius season? I mean, of course it's during Aquarius season. No, let's be real.
Sense. That makes sense.
Of course. It starts in Aquarius season.
It hasn't even... I don't know. I feel like there could have been more things done through that. It just has not been.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
I feel like I haven't even been able to like really hear or see the Black issues, if I'm being real.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like
there's been too much homophobia and fucking anti-Semitism bullshit.
Yes. So much of that. Yeah. Not enough. Not enough Black history.
Yeah. And where's like, and I know all of these Black excellent things are happening.
Yes.
Where are they?
Where are they? Give them to me. I just am like, yes, there's just like not enough Black joy on my timeline.
Exactly.
Too much
bullshit.
Too much bullshit. Honestly, like too much interpersonal agony.
Yes.
Disasters abound. Like I'm really tired of it. Truly.
Yeah.
Be real. I'm tired of it.
It's nice that Mercury moves kind of quickly.
I needed to.
Get out.
I mean, we still have to wait. What is it? A
couple weeks.
It's the 17th. Yeah, we've still got like 2 weeks until it finally moves out of Aquarius. But
I'm already pretending it's the last week of February. I think that's the only way I can manage. If my mindset is like only one more week to go, basically.
I mean,
close enough. It's like a week and a half.
It is a week and a half. It's a week and a half.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Get rid of it.
Honestly, I'm done. I'm over it. I need to start again. So let's try again in March, okay?
I know. I always
we'll reconvene in March.
I always tell people that my birthday sneaks up on me because February goes so fast. And I think it's my fault that it's taken so long. I think literally because I've said that so much. The universe and NASA were like, let's slow time down.
And NASA. Yeah, absolutely, actually.
NASA said, let's teach Sam a lesson and slow time down, make the weather really fucked up, and just fuck up February.
Oh my god, dude.
So I apologize to everyone who's also experienced a really tough February. I'll be more careful with my words.
It's all your fault.
Not trying to say I'm a Time Lord. I just think the Time Lords are listening.
Bro.
Oh my god.
I think... Oh god. I'm just tired.
Tired. Well...
I don't even know, dude.
So what do you want to talk about?
Oh my god.
Oh, I knew it would be like this.
I did too.
It's like, so what?
So what did we just talk about? What did we start trying to talk about? How did we get here? Because we're an hour in.
Yeah, we were talking about relationships. We were talking about... I don't know why we even got on that.
I don't know. I have no idea what's happening. I'm going to be honest with you.
Love it. Love it. I love it.
This is podcasting. I don't know. We did a little intro somewhere in there.
We talked about the astrology. We talked we talked a lot. Oh, I will say, we were talking a bit about relationships. I'm hoping to explore that more in group therapy. I never got to tell you about my first group therapy session.
Tell me all about it.
It It was interesting.
Oh?
It's interesting. So it started with I think 7 of us, including myself,
Mhm.
and 2 therapists. One of them is
Oh,
like,
2.
yeah, so it's 2 therapists. One of them um is the one I was going to
Uh-huh.
previously. She's
Right.
great, love her.
Mhm.
And another one, like her colleague. And so I
Mhm.
think some of the people in the group were also going to either of them
Mm.
for individual sessions. And the reason she kind of referred me to this group, because I don't think I ever would have picked a group called Healthy Relationships in my life.
Mhm.
I don't
Right.
think I would have just skipped over. I was like, okay, so what else is there? Because to
Mhm.
me, it sounds like people who are like dealing with relationship issues, like romantic
Right.
relationship issues. Um, but I was talking to her about how I had a small incident. I had like a week of many incidents where I felt like I wasn't fulfilling a good enough role in social situations, even
Oh.
though I wasn't even enjoying the social situations.
Uh-huh.
Like I wasn't getting anything out of them. I was
Yeah.
quite bored. But if I was not like fulfilling this role of being like kind of funny or like lightening the mood,
Mhm.
people pick up on it so easily. Um and then kind of like point it out, which makes
Oh.
me stressed out. And I'm like, how are people, first of all, like who said I was supposed to be kind of like this happy go lucky person? I
Right.
know that like I've gotten that feedback a lot of like being funny or whatever, lightening people's mood.
Mhm.
But I didn't realize that the absence of that would be so, so just like stark to people.
Mhm.
And it literally happened one day in class where someone was like, oh, yesterday you seemed really off, and I really wanted to make sure that you were doing okay.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure I was just annoyed and like on my period, and something that one of our facilitators said annoyed me,
Mhm.
which happens frequently.
Right.
you know,
Of
um
course.
cuz I respect authority. Um and so I was probably kind of just annoyed and didn't hang around after class and just went home. But someone noticed that and it made me feel so terrible.
Mhm.
Like now I feel annoyed. But at the time I was like, "Oh my god." I got really like really annoying. I was like, my energy was off and it affected someone else and like
Yeah.
made them feel bad. Um which is true, but like now when I hear myself say that, it sounds a little stupid. To be honest.
My god.
But I was kind of like, "Oh, like what was I doing? Like I wasn't protecting my energy enough so much that someone kind of picked up on it and it
Uh-huh.
I don't know, probably made them feel bad or like I don't know, didn't vibe with them well or distracted them at least in the least
Right.
because we were in a class." And so it made me feel terrible. And then I was like, I need to be on top of it and like not showing people I feel bad.
Bitch, what?
That's how I interpret it.
That's the logical conclusion.
Yeah, I was like,
Uh
okay. I mean, I don't know how to to present it in a way that makes sense,
Mhm.
or make it not sound terrible. But I was kind of like, I need to keep it together and not let my bad day make someone else have a bad day, which
Mhm.
probably isn't even what was going on. But I
Right.
think I started worrying about that.
Right.
Um, and I kind of noticed similar things like if I got too upset about something, people would be like, "Oh, you made this so serious."
Bitch.
Like,
Like, fuck off.
and my thing is like I thought we could enjoy some some discussions about serious things going on.
Yeah.
Cuz we're adults. We're also trying to be doctors. I don't know. You would think that we could talk about some serious things.
Right.
Um and the thing is, I have no problem switching from a serious topic to shitting around. Um,
Right.
and I think that's something I appreciate with us is that we could
Mhm.
easily do that. And I noticed that right away. I was like, thank God. And
Yes.
then obviously we discovered that we're both Gemini rising, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just need Geminis in my
I just
life.
Geminis in my life.
But yeah, so I was talking to my therapist about this, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, she was kind of obviously dissecting it. She's a therapist.
Right. Of course.
she was like, so what would happen if you didn't, act funny or happy all the time? And I was like, well, I would feel like I'm not fulfilling a role, the role that I put or that I was given
Uh-huh.
in a group. And she was like, well, who gave that to you? And I was like, well, I don't know. And I was like, I guess myself. And she was like, well, why did you give yourself a role? Are you giving other people roles? And I was like, not in like casual social settings, no.
Uh-huh.
Obviously when you're in like a deeper friend group, you have like the more reliable person or whatever. I don't even
Right.
think I'm at that point with anyone here.
Mm-hmm.
Not really anyway.
Right.
And so she was like, so who gave you that role? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. You're asking weird questions.
Weird question. Oh
Yeah,
my
just
god.
regular therapist questions. And I'm like, can we talk about something else? When I literally brought it up.
Of course.
So then she was like, I want you to observe how you're acting in social settings. And like, it shouldn't be that you're always having to filter how you feel when you're around people. And I was like,
Right.
it's not supposed to. Are you sure?
Be positive.
So that's kind of when she suggested this therapy group, and
Yeah.
explained to me that it's not about just people who are in relationships. It sounded to me,
Mm-hmm.
because we're abroad, so I thought it was like going to be people who are all in long distance relationships or something like that.
Right.
That's really not the case at all. um of course a couple people are, and that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what they're exploring.
Right.
And everyone's kind of coming with different issues, which is very interesting. um but I just think I'm already having a hard time kind of expressing these vulnerabilities in a new group.
Mm-hmm.
And people got very deep kind
Oh.
of quickly. I mean, in one session,
Mm-hmm.
which was like kind of amazing. Like, it was just nice because obviously it started out awkward. Like, you wouldn't
Yeah.
believe how awkwardly it started, because
No, I believe that.
we're all strangers. We none
Mm-hmm.
of us know each other, and we're talking about super vulnerable stuff that I haven't
Yeah.
spoken to about with most people
Mm-hmm.
ever. So,
Right.
um I don't know. It was just interesting to create a space to easily talk about those things.
Mm-hmm.
But we did go around. It's not super structured either. Like, it's not
Mm-hmm.
like we're given like a topic to discuss. Um but people kind of we were going around to talk about why we decided to join this group. And even that introduction for some people led to kind of deeper discussions, which was
Mm-hmm.
nice. But I didn't get to share, like, I didn't get to go. It just
Mm-hmm.
didn't happen, because it would either start a back and forth or, like a group discussion
Mm-hmm.
when some person talked about why they were here.
Right.
And I was kind of like, oh. And I never could get like the timing right, because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this person is talking about how like she wants to divorce her husband. Like, how do
Right.
I just be like, I don't know how to make friends? Like, how do I follow up with that?
Mm-hmm.
um but my therapist definitely was like, we have run out of time, but Samantha, I know you didn't share, so don't worry,
Mm-hmm.
we'll get to you. And I was like, oh god, are we gonna start
Like,
the
maybe
next
don't
one?
get to me.
Could you not?
This was going to be the day to get to me, and now we've gone past that
Yeah,
point.
and I was like, so I think we just shouldn't.
Maybe not. We can just skip me. It's fine.
But she did say that more people enrolled in the group, and it's still open, so it's probably going to
Oh,
be more people next time.
Well, I'm glad that they're getting more people to enroll.
Yeah.
That's really good because, yeah, like I'm glad you've had an experience that has affirmed to you that it's not just about like people in
For
relationships.
sure.
It's
For
also
sure.
like making valuable connections in a brand new space
Right.
for most people. Like,
And it's also nice. I mean, it's not nice. It's kind of sad, but it,
right, right.
it's comforting
Mm-hmm.
that you know, we're all med students and vet students, and we're
Mm-hmm.
all experiencing the same difficulties of
Right.
feeling like a sense of belonging or a
Mm-hmm.
sense of closeness with people.
Yes.
Um or just like, you know, the inability to connect with
Yeah.
people easily. And I don't know, it's just nice to know like, oh, maybe I'm not the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
I,
kind of a
I do
collective issue we're going through.
absolutely. And I do wonder if it's like the competitive thing and like
Yeah,
a lot of the people you're in school with have been hyper competitive in school for their whole lives to
all
reach this
life.
point.
And so have I, you
I
know.
mean, sure, but you've definitely done a lot more work outside of being hyper competitive. Like they
Sure.
didn't take a year off because they were like mentally suffering. They ignored that part
Right.
or like just didn't do that because they maybe
Yeah,
didn't deal with that and
just
then
didn't
like
explore it for
didn't
sure.
take, almost 2 years in Peace Corps barring a pandemic like like
Oh man.
to do something for someone else. Like a lot of the people there with you have not done stuff like that. So
Mhm.
like you've done a lot more external exploration and like you're not that competitive anymore. Like you're a competitive
Right.
candidate, but you are not a competitive person like that
Right,
at
right,
this
right.
point. So I think like they're still in that competitive mindset that is not like conducive to making lasting relationships because they still are constantly sizing up and judging everyone
Definitely.
else.
Oh, there's so much of, and the thing is like you can do that, but
Yeah.
like don't let it extend beyond your academic performance.
Mhm.
I mean, if you want to have some exclusive study group where like all of you are really grinding and like figuring shit out,
Yeah.
but like don't make it, don't let that extend into other things, which is what I'm seeing happening.
Mhm.
And it's really like it's just so immature, and I don't know if it's just the environment, like what you said, is
Mhm.
what's kind of warranting that, or
Right.
if it's just this habitual like I need to be competitive with all of these people that I'm, you know, studying with.
Right.
And there's really no way to do that because we're all taking the same classes. You know,
Right.
like there's no real reason to do, I don't know, there is a reason to do better than each other, but it's kind of like beyond this point right now.
Right.
It'll come back for residency. So it's like
Yeah.
people need to find other ways to be like I'm better than these people, you know? And it's kind of like
Yes.
why? I don't really feel the need to do that.
Right. Which like it's just so wild to me to like contemplate
Yeah, if you saw this,
your
if you,
friend group.
I just wish you could, I don't want you to come and see this because it would just be so assaulting to your psyche. I don't want you to experience it. I wish I could even convey. Like I have a friend in one of my friend groups, and here's the thing. I know you'll agree with me on this.
Mhm.
This is our like shared hot take, I
Mhm.
think, is that like I'm not anti gossip.
Right.
I kind of love gossip.
Yeah.
You know,
Same. Right.
I come from a gossipy culture. You know,
Mhm.
South Asians, we love to gossip.
Right.
But here's the thing. I think, and this is, you know, I am an anthropologist.
Right.
I think gossiping serves like a cultural function
Yes.
in groups, because if you're kind of processing your interactions with people that maybe didn't go well or
Mhm.
that you don't really understand,
Mhm.
or even like people's behaviors that you don't really know how to handle them, and you go to someone else to talk about another person because you want to be like, am I the only one seeing this, or like am I the only one experiencing this, and someone can confirm that for you.
Yeah.
I think that can serve a good function, and it can kind of lighten the mood a little bit too if you're kind of like talking shit and laughing about it.
Absolutely.
So I think a part of it is necessary. I don't even think you have to be like so saintly about it. Like you can talk shit about people.
Yeah. Gossiping and talking shit serves a purpose.
Sure.
Lots of purposes, in fact, actually.
But there's definitely a boundary. Like,
yes.
I will know immediately when it's gone too far, if that makes sense. And I don't know if that makes me sound like really fake of like, I'll only talk shit a little bit. But it's kind of like, no, sometimes I really need to understand why someone's acting like this. And if I can laugh about it with someone else, it's really helpful.
Right.
But if we're starting to talk about like people's appearance and like their intelligence, or what our perception of their intelligence is,
yes,
or just like really shitty stuff that I'm not really interested in judging people for the most part. Like, I'm talking about people acting shitty or acting annoying and those sort of things, and talking about that so that I can kind of vent those frustrations. But I don't need to talk about like how someone's body looks or how they dress.
100% not. I like, don't care about that shit.
I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
So it kind of bothers me when like you are trying to have like this connection with someone by talking about other people,
right?
And being like, oh, we're in this such a weird situation because everyone around us is weird. Why are they acting like this? Yeah. And then they want to talk about something like their appearance, which I find so unrelated, you know?
Right. Yes.
I don't know. Like, some dude can be a misogynist, and we don't really have to talk about his height.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, we have enough fuel by him being a misogynist and all the shitty, stupid things he says. We don't have to bring his height into it or his, like, looks.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
I just don't feel the need to do that anymore. Obviously, I did that when I was younger because that's, like, what everyone did.
Yes. It's also, I feel like it's how you learn to relate to other people.
Sure.
And to, like, not feel like the other and to not feel shitty.
Yeah. Yeah, to, like, insult other people, basically.
Which is awful. It's awful.
It's really bad, and I just find myself getting tired of it because it doesn't serve the same function of what I'm talking about. It doesn't really make me feel better.
It doesn't. It ends up making you feel worse.
Right.
Like, you just feel worse for having said something really, like, grossly mean about someone. Like, yeah. It doesn't matter what they look like. If they're a bad person, they're a bad person.
Right.
It doesn't matter what they look like. They could be a really attractive person externally, objectively, and still be an ugly, horrible person because they say shitty things and do shitty things.
You get me. You get me.
I get you, bestie.
And I mean, my thing is that I feel like when I was insulting people's appearance the most is when I was the least okay with my own appearance. Like, obviously that sounds so cliche.
No, it is all projected insecurity.
If you're so hyper focused on people's appearance or people's weight, that is only saying like how you're thinking of yourself.
Absolutely.
And I mean, conversely, if you're always self-deprecating about your appearance and your weight, you're also constantly judging everyone else. And there's like no way around it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I definitely have a friend, and this is what I was getting to, where we kind of have this gossipy relationship. But for a long time, she's been very self-conscious about her weight and she's very slim and very conventionally pretty, which is like even more annoying. Okay. I will go ahead and say it, that I have some kind of like internalized issue with her acting like that, even though she's definitely conventionally pretty and gets that kind of attention easily from people.
Right.
So, you know, I've observed that, and I've observed that I observe that. Okay, I'm very aware.
Very self-aware.
But she will talk all the time about, like, being fat or, like, how she stopped her birth control because she didn't want to gain weight
Oh my
anymore.
God.
Very, very hyper focused on it. She'll
Yeah.
joke about like skipping meals.
No.
And the thing is, I've talked to her about, we've talked about our shared experience with diet culture, so I thought we were on the same page.
Right.
But I think she's still kind of just automatically going into that self-deprecating, whatever comments about herself to other people.
Right.
So I don't know how to go to her and be like, I kind of get triggered when you talk about that because I think she's also processing that on her own. But she is so judgmental about people's appearance that it is just like, it's becoming shocking to me. And I think I've noticed it more because we were all gossipy, and then she was, kind of felt free to say these things, and I was like, I'm not okay with you saying stuff like that about other people.
Right.
Especially because like what are you saying about me? What are you saying about our friends?
Yes, exactly.
It's gotten to a point, if someone gossips so much in such a way where you're like, I'm not sure what you say about me when I'm gone. That, I feel like that's where it gets kind of weird. And so I felt even weirder connecting with my friends because now, they're in different classes from me. So they're spending a lot of time without me. And I think I get in my head of like what what is going on? Like, what are they talking about when I'm gone? If when I show up, we're talking shit about everyone else.
Right. But when they say such like just like things that feel icky like that, where you've like, you hear them say things that you really don't like the way they're talking about someone, whether you know this person or not, whether you like them or not, like when they say really gross things about other people that make you feel bad for like hearing it, like that's too much. And of course you're gonna be like, you're gonna think, how do they talk about me? Like in this, do they talk about me in the same way? Like,
exactly.
Of course you're gonna think that, and it feels really bad. And like part of me is like, does your friend know that? Do they know that like it makes you feel like that? Because they do claim to be your friend, but like,
I know, I've thought
about
bringing it up.
But then
I'll let you know. I'll let you know if that happens.
Let me know.
Yeah,
but it's
I'll
also
update
you. Like you were just saying, like you don't want to feel like the bummer friend when they already kind of,
I know, that's
literally was a bummer friend.
That's literally what I was thinking too.
Like it's like you don't want to. I know you don't want to be that.
I'm already being painted as like this woke police, not to use police, right? Because fuck the police, but like I don't know what else to
ACAB forever, but like no, I get it.
Yeah, even though I feel like I'm not. I feel like I could let a lot of things go for humor,
right?
But for some reason I'm easily painted as that, and I think that bothers me too, and it makes it hard to like, I don't know, connect with people as well.
I stand by it's the norminess of it all. Do you know
Not
what I mean?
the normies, but low-key, yes.
Like
I wish someone was neurodivergent.
There's
and
no neurospice to make communication.
The thing is, I have suspicions of some of them being neurodivergent. Yeah. But I just think their mask is probably stronger. I think my mask is also very strong, but because of you and our friendship with Lee as well, where we've slowly started unmasking, I mean, at least for me, it feels very slow. Because I think in front of my family, my mask is up so much more. So it's a little harder for me to really integrate kind of like my authentic expression anyway. But I think because I've had a taste, it makes it hard for me to want to socialize and put that mask back on the whole time.
Absolutely.
And so I'm interested to explore that in therapy. Even we talked about masking very briefly. I need to look up, I don't remember what this diagram was called, but there's sort of a diagram where it's like 4 squares, and one of them is like your known self that you hide from others, and then you have yourself that is known to others but unknown to you, kind of like how people observe you but you don't really notice.
Right.
And then there's like your blind self that neither yourself or others know, that you haven't discovered yet. And then I don't know, I feel like there's a fourth one. Don't worry about it, I'm not an expert on this, but basically we're expanding the part that's like authentic to you that you also feel comfortable showing others. And I was already mind blown by this, and I was like, oh my god, teach me how. How do I do it?
Yeah.
And so I'm interested to see how that will go. And I'm glad that the therapist also already used the terminology of like, maybe you mask your authentic self. And it's nice. I think I'm in a group of people who probably relate to that. It's mostly women who feel like they're people pleasers. That definitely was tossed around a lot. And one person has full-blown social anxiety, and then other people say that they suspect that they do. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's nice to see how we will kind of navigate those things together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope I'll get to share, even though I'm very nervous.
I mean, you couldn't even introduce yourself at the beginning of this podcast.
I know, I couldn't even introduce myself. It's so cringy, like,
Literally, all you had to do was say, "My name is Samantha,"
No.
It took a half hour of talking
cringe
for us to get there.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Rihanna instead of myself. Can you blame me?
I mean, no. I can't blame you.
Oh my god.
I can't blame you, but we'll work on it.
Yeah. I've rambled about that experience.
I loved it. I love hearing about all of your experiences.
I know. Tell me more about your experiences. When can we experience together?
When you finally come home.
Yeah. I think we're still gonna live in different places. We don't have to talk about it yet.
No. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're doing great, okay?
What is adulting? I'm gonna turn 28 soon, bitch. What the fuck is that?
You're gonna what soon?
I'm gonna turn 28.
No.
Doesn't that sound so serious?
Sounds wrong.
That sounds really serious.
Sounds serious. It sounds adulty.
I know. It sounds like Saturn Return.
Oh no.
Although I don't
really don't need to go there.
Yeah. No, I have some time. Don't worry. I'm gonna not think about it until it happens.
Oof.
We're not gonna talk about how I'm pretty sure I take step 1 during my Saturn Return.
Stop. I hate that for you.
I'm pretty sure I move for clinicals during Saturn Return. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's the case. It's rough. Fine. I was really hoping to have just a very calm, soothing Saturn Return where nothing, extravagant or significant happens in my life.
Is that even a Saturn Return?
No.
Okay, then.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm still 15 in my brain.
I know.
Truly.
Are you actually 15 in your brain? I feel like I sit at about like 20. No, not 23. Maybe 20 is like where I live in my brain.
Yeah, 15 is quite young. I mean, I feel like I was so, like I said, I took a break from school, so I was like 19 when I was like really deeply spiritual, and getting like so many insights. Like I felt like I was gaining so much wisdom.
Right.
And I don't feel like I connect in that way. I just think it's been hard, first of all. I also think I've been doing it a lot, so I'm also a little bit like, can we just exist?
Yeah.
But I think I really miss being 19 and like discovering a lot. And like obviously,
Yes.
you know, we're probably, I think, just from what I've gathered from other women who are turning 30,
Mm-hmm.
you know, soon, is that like we're also going to discover a lot about ourselves. But I'm kind of
Right.
like, you know, when is it going to happen? I feel like I was very excited at that time to like learn about myself or just learn new things. But
Yeah.
right now I'm kind of like, I'm floundering.
Yes.
You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
God. Yes.
So I think, I don't know if I'm actually 19 in my brain, but I'm kind of like craving a similar experience.
I know, but I guess like I guess like 29 is kind of that, isn't it? Like
I guess. That's scary. That's way
I
scarier.
know.
It's
It's way
29.
scarier. There's way more responsibility as a 29-year-old versus a 19-year-old, but like
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
entering a new decade of your life. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I definitely don't feel responsible for my
no,
age.
exactly. I don't either.
Yeah, okay,
I
good.
feel
I'm glad
like
that
a fucking loser. Like,
like what am I doing? Although
right.
Queen Herbie just posted today.
Mhm.
Did you see her post?
No, I don't think
It was a
so.
very cute little reel, but she was saying like if you don't know who you are in your 20s, it's fine because I didn't really discover myself until my 30s.
Right. And so many people have been saying that, like, for
Yeah.
real. So many people have been saying that. Like, people, of our generation have been like, I am 33 and I just figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, I finally feel like I'm moving in the right direction, finally figured out what I want, blah, 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 blah. Like, I
Yeah.
just feel,
I'm like, I
classic
want
gifted kid
that.
pipeline where I'm
Oh my
like,
god.
I'm just like I excelled forever and I thought I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I fucking tanked, dude. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. Did you tank? I don't know.
Yeah,
That
I
sounds
tanked,
really.
bro.
Did you tank? You're acting like, I don't know. I don't want to invalidate that statement at all. I just don't think you've tanked. Like
I
I
feel a bit rock bottom
okay. Well, I don't want to
for
invalidate that.
me,
Okay, that's
where I thought I'd be, what I thought I'd be doing, like
okay. Like I said, you've escaped hell not entering academia.
but at the same time, like, ugh, and then I'm about to like toy with this thought, but like that's all I ever wanted. I wanted to be a smart person, an academic. I wanted to be like I've always wanted to be someone like I've always wanted to be someone like
Same.
someone people could look up to, whatever. And it's like I'm not invalidating there. I have had people tell me that they look up to me and I'm like, for what? How? Like I don't get it
That's
at
sort
this
of
point
what
that I'm at.
that's what I'm realizing cuz I also want that. Like I want to be like this academic bitch that makes something, some sort of media or something that people see and get
Yes.
inspired by.
Right.
And like even though I'm at one of the highest places of education, I don't feel like I'm doing any of that
Right.
right now. Like it definitely doesn't. I feel like it's so glorified and
Mhm.
so like romanticized and does not feel as fulfilling as like we had hoped or even what we were told, honestly,
Right.
when we were younger. So my thing is like you're saying that people look up to you, yeah, because you're putting out content. Like content creation really is the way that people can express themselves and express or just, show a part of themselves that people get inspired by. And you don't have to
Mhm.
do anything. You're just being yourself online,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's so bizarre to me that that is how people are
I agree.
inspiring others. I don't even
I
know how to
agree.
explain it. Like you don't
No,
have
it's
to be
weird.
this huge philosopher, academic person anymore. You
I
don't have to
know.
be, like Dr. Martin Luther King
Mhm.
had a PhD and was an activist and did all these things, but people can do that like before they're even in college now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes, very much
So
so.
I don't know. I feel like we've put way too much on ourselves to achieve
Yes.
a ton of shit when it doesn't even give back the same reward unless you are able to find a better outlet. Like academia is not providing that outlet to people anymore, is what I'm
Yes.
feeling.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to get this degree and learn. I'm trying to learn as
Mhm.
well. I'm not trying to just
Right.
passively get a degree. You can't
Right.
do that, by the way. It's really hard to just do
You
that.
cannot passively get a degree.
But I'm trying to at least use the degree to get to places to do that in a
Mhm.
meaningful way. I don't know if I would ever want someone like suggest someone else does it like this.
Well,
I'm gonna be
right.
honest with you.
Right.
I think I'm gonna struggle really hard if someone comes to me and they're like, I want to be a doctor and get an MD. Like, do you think I should? Or, I
Right.
just think I'm gonna struggle because it's so much that you have to kind of go through. It's so
Mhm.
grueling.
Yes.
I don't want you to be subjected to it either. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just hope that you can find a way to do that feeling that you want of doing something and being someone without going this path.
I want to find it. And like that's the thing like that I'm feeling right now. To bring this back to kind of the astrological shift.
Mhm.
Like I'm finally feeling a little bit lighter mentally with the waning Aquarius season, right? But I still have the focus and acuity of Mercury in Aquarius. So like
Right.
I'm not losing the ability to make moves. I'm just like losing the overstimulation
Right.
that I've been feeling. So I'm very much like feeling motivated to like I guess make content, which makes me feel really cringy. I have to be honest with you. Like I feel extremely cringy about it, but like I feel like I'm finally in a place to make moves now. And I
Right.
have the like motivation to do so. I've actually banked a bunch of content that I just need to kind of edit and put out.
Mhm.
Like I've already done things and like been preparing for this moment where I'm finally feeling motivated, but it's also like I'm scared and I'm also like don't want to be cringe and my
Yeah.
parents are putting pressure on me to get a traditional job,
Mhm.
which I don't want to do, which like I completely respect, but I don't want to do out of like the same reason I don't want to put out content. I don't want to be cringe. It's embarrassing, okay? Like
Wait, having a traditional job is
for
embarrassing?
me, because my parents are like, "Oh, you could work at the Trader Joe's," but like that is our
Oh, I
local
see.
Trader Joe's.
I see.
It is not embarrassing to have a regular 9 to 5 job,
No.
whatever. It's not embarrassing to work at Trader Joe's. It is like I've lived here for over a decade.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people here. So when they see me working at the Trader Joe's, when I was the kid who like aced all my classes in high school,
Mm.
got into a bunch of good
See,
colleges,
that's
like
the problem.
that feels embarrassing to
It's
me.
like, yeah, when I was fucking 12 or when I
No,
was fucking
right.
16, do you know
Right.
how much of an idiot I actually was when I was 16? Like, who cares
Right.
about grades? Like, I
No,
don't know.
exactly.
That's sort of, and I mean that's just our parents' generation putting so much
It is. And
into
I'm
those
trying to get
accolades.
over that and just
And it's
like
hard because
it's
they're
so
just gonna,
hard.
I mean, I'm not telling you I'm over it. I'm just telling you my
Yeah.
observation.
Simply an observation.
Yeah.
But that's like exactly my problem. Like 100% having a job at Trader Joe's, at your local grocery store, at your local whatever
Oh, I
is
would be
completely
mortified.
respectable. But I'm
I would
here
be
like
mortified to do that.
people expected more of me and it feels like failure.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just my brain being mean, societal expectations like hammering down upon me.
Right.
Like it
Just
just
pummeling me.
yeah, it just feels bad. Like again, it's not embarrassing. But it is, but like that's also like not what I want to be doing, so I don't want to do it.
Right. It's not going to be fulfilling, and you're going to hate it just as much as you hated your previous job. So
right. And
probably more. Like you're probably a little more intellectually stimulated by your previous job too. I'm assuming.
I mean, I'm almost wondering though if like the physical monotony of, you know, a grocery store job would be helpful to
Yeah,
me.
for like relaxing.
Yeah, like almost relaxing. But then I'm also like, I literally don't want to talk to anyone.
And yeah,
so working in a grocery store is also kind of a nightmare because
yeah, you have to talk to everyone.
I have to talk to everyone. So yeah, you know, it's like a whole thing. So like I'm conflicted because I am finally motivated to work on my personal projects, but my parents want me to get a traditional job, and I'm really trying to like work on my content creation this year. Like,
right.
you know, doing more on Twitch, streaming regularly. Like I've actually had a ton of growth in the past month, and it's been a little scary because like I want to keep growing, but like stagnant days feel so much worse because I've grown a lot recently, like a lot for me.
Right.
So
the numbers are so stressful.
yes,
Like I
and
don't think I could handle.
I'm really trying to not focus on the numbers because like ultimately who cares? It's fine.
But like you also kind of have to.
Exactly.
I feel like
You
it's
have to care a
unrealistic to
little
be
bit.
like, I'm not going to look at the numbers.
You have to care a little bit. You have to think about it.
Literally hire someone to look at the numbers for you.
Right. And just tell you what you need or like
right.
what to do. To
yeah, and I wouldn't even want the numbers reported. I'm like, can you just give like an artistic depiction of how things are going? and like what I should do.
Right.
Because like if you give me strategies, but it sounds like you're telling me what to do, I also don't want to hear it. But like if you give me a performance and I interpret and I get like insight from your art, then I'll know what to do. That's kind of what I want. I don't know. Is that a job?
You're obnoxious.
like a artistic performing manager.
You're right. Right. Exactly. You know? Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need that. Gen Z needs to make that a thing.
I love it. I love that for you. Yeah. You know, just
I would love to make content as well. I feel like I have too many ideas.
Yeah.
Isn't that just terrible?
No,
like my brain is full. You know that meme of Squidward and his brain, like his head is just full to the brim. Yes. That is what I feel like a lot.
Yes,
and
me too.
Nobody here is interesting enough to talk about these things. Let me tell you.
No one can handle this brain full of thoughts. No one can
handle this. This is for the pod. This is all for the pod now.
Oh my god. Can't wait for all the brain dumps.
I know.
That we're gonna get.
I have so many dumps. Okay.
So many dumps.
Oh my god.
In conclusion, lighter days ahead. Right?
Bitch, I hope. I don't know. And
everybody's going through it.
I'm no expert astrologer, but it just has to be better than this.
It has to be. It literally has to be better, please.
Like today, what is it? Like I remember texting you saying that Mercury is doing a sextile with Jupiter, which will be great for our podcast, I think. Yeah. Which is probably why we haven't stopped talking.
Yes.
But
for 2 hours.
But also, I needed people to shut up today. Like the entire day, everyone was just being loud and wrong.
Loud and wrong.
And
loud and wrong. Incorrect, like factually incorrect.
Just wrong. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Today was something, I tell you what.
I need Mercury to chill. I'm actually going to be glad when Mercury goes retrograde. Like, slow things down. Make things a little difficult as far as communication. People can have a difficult time communicating because they need to shut up.
Exactly. Just don't talk.
Shut up.
Just don't talk. When does the retrograde start?
Oh, April 21st?
Yeah, the next transit is not a retrograde.
So who told me we're in shadow period? Was that from the previous retrograde?
Perhaps? I don't know. That was like a month ago now.
Yeah, I mean, the shadow period's like 2 weeks. So maybe I was...
We're way out of that now. Maybe your brain is confused.
I know. My brain is confused. That's a fact.
I love that Mercury goes retrograde the day after 420. That's good.
Yeah, that's a good day for everyone to stop talking.
Yeah, that's good timing.
Taurus season will be so nice. Ugh.
I can't wait for Taurus season.
I love Pisces. I don't mind Aries season. Sometimes it's a little stressy for me, but
yeah.
But I love Taurus season. I love Gemini season.
Yes. So this part of the year that we're entering, other than my own season, is one of my favorites. Like, I love Pisces season. I think it's so, like, it's usually quite relaxing. I often feel emotionally distressed, but it ends up helping me long term.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's like the stress you need.
Yes, exactly. Kind of. It's a lot of, like, I work through a lot of my personal issues during Pisces season.
Yeah.
And then in Aries season, I act like a brat. But that's way more fun than being responsible. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Virgo. I'm responsible all the time. Give me, I can have one season where I act like a baby. And if it's Aries season, all the better for it.
It's that.
Yes. Then Taurus season. And I love
just
Taurus
luxury
and rest and relaxation. Lots of, like, blankets on those weirdly chilly days, yes. But then, like, the next, like, day you can put on a tank top, soak up the sun.
Just, like, the self-care game is, like, meant to happen. It's I don't know. It's just the time.
Yes, and then Gemini season, I'm, like, raring and ready to go intellectually, which is not what I get in Aquarius season. Aquarius season, it's very hard for me to be, like, on mentally, but I'm always inundated with thoughts.
I know.
During Aquarius season specifically.
No, same. And, like,
I can't make any moves, but
having a Mercury in Aquarius, like, I just find it too stressful. Like, there's too much stuff to discuss in Aquarius season.
Yes.
It's very wild to me because I feel like any other time of the year I would be so willing to talk about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just like, I need to read and watch about it. Like, I can't talk about it yet. Like, there's not enough time for me to even sit down and think of what to say.
Yeah.
I'm just absorbing right now.
And, like, I tend to have, like, a lot of ideas in Aquarius season, which makes sense, right? Like, the fixed air it's not a lack of creativity, but it is, for me at least, a lack of motivation to act on it, or, like, ability to act on it, almost. Like, it's too many things at once. It's again like the ADHD decision paralysis.
It's more like everything is still for you to observe.
Yes,
but it's just a little overwhelming. It's like a wall of fog.
Yes, exactly. Fog wall. Like, there are so many ideas that come to me during Aquarius season, and then in Pisces season, I lack the motivation to really carry them out very well. But I think Mercury in Aquarius carrying us into Pisces season will help, like, kind of facilitate a little more action with a little less mental stress.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
For a little while. And then we'll move into soft and sappy Mercury and Pisces during Pisces season. And everybody will just cry, you know?
Everyone will cry. Everyone will comfort each other, I'm hoping. Yeah. I just think Mercury and Pisces is a lot calmer.
Yes.
It's not necessarily a very mercurial placement.
Correct.
So, which will be good, because I'm sick of this shit.
I know.
I'm over it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping it will be good. And Venus and Pisces already is starting to mellow things out, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm feeling softer, which is actually nice because I've been feeling very, like, wound up.
For sure.
So
when Venus was in Aquarius, it was not.
No.
I think I'm like, wow, that's my placement. That's kind of absurd. I need to lighten up a little bit.
Did you feel the amplification of it? And you're like, that's too much.
Well, I mean, I know, like, right when Venus entered Aquarius, I had this crush.
Right.
And now she fully gives me the ick. Oh, God, Jordan.
Not that.
Oh God, it's bad. And it feels so harsh. Like, even me saying that is so harsh because I don't know this person.
Oh my God.
But now, everything she does, I'm like, how on earth was I
You
ever
have not
drawn?
told me this. This is the first I'm
Well,
hearing of it.
I think I'm fully
Reveal
realizing
live
it.
on the podcast.
I I feel like I'm fully realizing it this week. I'm like, oh, she's also kind of like talking shit about people. She like, I don't know, does not seem very polite. Can you like,
Wow.
I don't even know if I've thought of someone as impolite in a long time. Cuz
Wow.
I'm no like, I don't know, I'm not like a prissy polite person myself.
Right.
But I mean, I've learned some manners. I don't know. I
I
don't know.
know. That's interesting because I agree. Like, when was the last time I thought about someone being impolite?
Like,
For real.
specifically impolite is quite something. I just feel like she's very young.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to paint. I love Gen Z.
Yep.
Disclaimer. I love Gen Z a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there's like a certain like, oh, you guys don't know how to like talk to each other and be nice sometimes.
No, for
You
real.
know what
This
I
is
mean?
something I've also noticed very, very much in my little sister and her friend, who is like her
Oh,
best friend,
yeah.
and the way they treat each other. And and definitely I recognize that I also acted like this as a kid, right? Like, this is not unique to me, to her and her friend,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But like, the way that they talk to each other, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit you," and like they hit each other, and
Yeah.
I'm like, stop hitting your friends.
Yeah.
Stop.
And the thing is, like, you're right. I know we acted like this as kids, but
Absolutely. But I'm also like, stop hitting your friends.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
That's not nice. It does not promote a healthy friendship. Why do you think you
Right.
guys argue every other week and then like friend break up and then come back 2 weeks later?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you're
See,
not treating each
that's
other
too
well.
much.
It's not nice. For real.
Mm.
Like, I don't know how to be like, it's not nice without sounding like I'm talking to
I
a
know.
child, and I
Like,
don't mean to talk to her like
don't want
that.
to.
It's not
I
the
don't want to call
intention.
someone impolite. Do you know how bizarre that
No, right. It's
sounds?
weird.
It's weird.
I'm just like, how do you like, what?
Oh, man. Oh,
It's like,
man.
it's not that my sisters had a lack of home training because we grew up in
Right.
the same
You're from the
house,
same
but
place.
like, I'm like, dude, you have to stop treating your friends like this. That is not kind.
Yeah.
Like, weirdly enough, I
I
have to like, I feel like I need to tell her like she's the 8-year-old I babysit. Like, that's just not kind.
For sure.
It
Like,
hurts you and your friend
I definitely think Gen
when you hit
Z
them. Like, it is not nice.
I definitely think Gen Z is like um they're sort of unlearning respectability politics for
Which
certain, which
is
is
admirable.
very good. Very
Mm-hmm.
good. Very good. Um but I don't know. I think I still value a very base level of respect and manners, I
Yes,
guess. If that
very
makes me old.
basic.
Yeah, if that
You
makes me
don't,
old, it's
I
fine.
definitely believe in unlearning a certain amount of respectability politics. Like,
Mhm.
especially, working like customer service jobs or whatever, like, you don't, the customer is not always right, period.
Oh, no.
But also, like, I still believe in treating people with respect until they've shown me that they don't deserve it. I don't
Right.
think it's the other way around, where like they deserve respect after after they've proven that they deserve respect. I don't think that's
Right.
true. I think that's bullshit. Like, everybody is still a human being. You still need to be as kind as you can manage, right? Like,
Right.
and then if they don't deserve that, there are ways to handle it where like you still don't have to be impolite, or
Mm.
like, you don't have to be straight up rude
Right.
to deal with situations like that. But
And
like,
again, it's not like she's done anything outwardly rude, this
right.
person. It's just like a certain vibe and like the way that
Mm-hmm.
she talks about people. I'm like, you know, like
Yeah.
immediately I do not like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
It's so
weird.
interesting to see the differences. And then also in like, I've been reconnecting a little bit with my IRL friends who, well, I say that, but like we're kind of virtual friends again because she lives
Right.
very far away. Like, she was living in Japan, came back to the States, has now moved somewhere else because her husband's in the military. Like,
Oh, yes.
like it's not easy to be an in-person friend
Right.
when they don't live
Right.
here. So, but like we've been reconnecting a little bit, and that's been really interesting actually because she is very involved in Twitch and I did not know that. I had
What?
no idea she was on Twitch. So it is very easy for me to talk to her.
Oh
But
my
anyone
god.
I know that is not on Twitch or is not close to me like Lee is, it is very hard to talk to them.
Right.
It is very hard to talk to them. The way
We're
they
sucked
speak,
in
I
to the
know,
world.
but the weird thing is like the way these people speak that are not on Twitch like is offensive to me. No, it's like actually I'm like don't like that's not nice. Don't say that. Like it's weird. It
Yeah.
seems very the opposite of what you would think would happen where like you're on the internet all the time, like you're
Well,
a
we just
troll, you're a meme lord, but it's just like
I think
our
we're in a very
communities
good
respect
exactly. We're like
people.
in like some good respectful pockets of the
Yes.
internet.
We are quite deliberate about the language we use, like we're always want to be kind to people. And again, this is another one of those things. Not everyone deserves it, but you're nice until they prove that they don't deserve it. And
Right.
I think there is value in that and like being kind to people. I am much nicer than I used to be.
Oh, same.
Like I am
Oh,
not as mean, as callous, as standoffish as I used to be for
absolutely.
sure. And I
I
think that's wild actually.
even what I said before of like I don't feel the need to insult someone's appearance.
Mhm.
I mean part of that is like I'm understanding that that's just me projecting. And then another part is like no, like I understand how that hurts people and like
Right.
I'm with other people that don't feel the need to do that all the time. So it doesn't feel like an
Exactly.
automatic thing to do anymore. And so when I
100%.
see when I see people doing it just in like a group setting cuz everyone else is, I'm like, "Oh, this is whack behavior."
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's weird.
Yeah.
Like what people look like and their intelligence. It's not
Yeah. Yeah.
necessary to bring that up when you're saying how someone is a bad person because them being a bad person is of its own merit.
Right.
Like
Oh,
that
exactly.
says a lot more about them than the way that they look or like
I
their
know
IQ.
I know plenty of very very smart people who are just awful.
Right.
Just terrible.
Right. So it's just like I really like think we've gotten very lucky in the communities we're a part of online where like we actually do care about that stuff and like we care about not using ableist language and like
Oh yeah,
not insulting people's intelligence. Like that's not kind. It's not necessary.
don't get me started about how people who are literally becoming doctors use so much ableist language.
Yes.
And it's a very it's like very new to start avoiding or to actively avoid ableist language. I mean
Right.
relatively so, not by
Hmm.
the disabled community. They've been doing it forever.
Right. They've been
But
advocating for this for
we're
decades.
catching up. Yeah, we're catching up.
Right.
But even so, and the thing is we have diversity sessions where we
Hmm.
talk about lessening ableist language, but no one gives good examples. And also people do not run those sessions well enough for
Hmm.
people to take them seriously. Even
Right.
myself, I don't take them very seriously because they're not
Hmm.
well done.
Yeah.
So I just don't know. I don't know how to talk about it in spaces again, like you said, without being a bummer friend or
Hmm.
just seeming annoying to be around. Like everyone has to start walking on eggshells when they talk to me.
Right. It's so hard to find that balance because I feel the same way with my normie friends where I do kind of have to walk on eggshells around them and like again, the wild thing about our internet communities, our friends that we met online
Stop.
is that they care more. Like they
Oh,
care more.
that's so.
It
That's
feels
tea. That's the
strange.
tea.
Again,
Oh my
internet
god.
friend like when you're thinking like, "Oh, my internet friends," it's like your trolley friends that you play Fortnite with, right? Like the stereotype is this weird bullshit bass backwards like
Not bad.
like
Parasocial.
Right. Like these weird relationships with people who are unkind.
Oh yeah.
And we just got very lucky that
Yeah.
our friends fucking care. And
And
they care about
taught me
learning, and yes, and they
to
care about
care.
teaching other people. They care.
Wild.
It's so wild. So it's like, you know, when we were talking, I guess that was just last week, maybe the week before, I guess, like about that word that's been really popular on the internet that has really like racist origins again, in a almost a different way, but like how the word bozo has been really popular on Twitch,
Oh my
and its
god.
origins are in the fucking slave trade, and
I
it was
know.
to talk about people who were enslaved and didn't speak Spanish on
When
the
I
Spanish
found that
slave
out, I
ships.
was like, say you're kidding, because
Right.
what do you
Right.
mean?
Like it was just used as a term to insult them and degrade them. And like that's disgusting language. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just like
I was
really
pretty horrified by that.
I
I'm not
know.
gonna lie.
I know. And like that's like a very brief way to talk about like what the origin of that word, but like
Mm-hmm.
the fact that, you know, I did feel bad for not saying something before our friend hit send tweet, but like I was also like I feel like this is pertinent, even though it's like I didn't want to be the bummer friend, the bummer in chat, but I know that they care. I
Yeah.
know that they care.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's, and like I asked before, I was like, can I say something that may be a little bit of a bummer about a term that's been popularized again lately? Like,
Uh-huh.
not, I don't want to like be the bummer friend, but I do know that like our communities care and aren't going to be mad at me for saying something
Right.
when I know that it's a term that we should not be using
Mm-hmm.
widely. Like, and it's hard to stop at other places, like, because I know where it came from. I
Right.
know who in our adjacent communities has popularized this term again, or like has brought it into all of our
Ah, I see.
lexicons
I
again.
see what you're
Like,
saying. Yes.
so
Yes,
like,
yes,
how do
yes.
you then make it like how you can't really make it stop? Like, right? Like, there's no way.
No, no, no. I don't know how to handle that either, because like we're so much more connected to strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we were all in our own circles back in the day when we didn't even really know what was going on outside of our circles, and we just stayed in circles that were a little more progressive or whatever, it'd be fine. But
Mm-hmm.
because we're so like, I don't know, we're in everyone's fucking business,
We
you
kind of
know?
are.
And we're upset about like what's, like what you said, it's being popularized. Even if our friends are more mindful about it, it's still
Yes,
upsetting to us that it's being popularized outside of that. And we would
absolutely.
like to influence that, and it kind of, it's like overwhelming to try to do that. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. So
But
I think like even just like making sure our friends know that it's not
did
a
you say
cool term to
something?
use. I did. I said something in chat.
Well, did it go okay or
Yeah, it went fine.
oh,
Totally fine.
yeah. I've had that experience on
That's the
Twitch
thing.
too,
Like,
and I'm still very worried about bringing anything up.
I know. I feel like I felt worried for no reason because it went so well.
Right.
Like, you know, I just was like,
There's still for me there's still like a discomfort. I think
yes.
when, I don't know, I think people are still managing how they react to being told something. I mean,
Mhm.
cuz I'm the same way, cuz I've been told that something I say is offensive or something, and
Mhm.
I will be very apologetic, which I sometimes feel like is a worse reaction. Like you
Mhm.
don't need to be apologetic to the individual that brought it to you. You just need to be very thankful to
Right.
them.
And that is the only way that our friend reacted. That's it.
Exactly.
Just with like, thank you so much for letting me know.
Exactly. And so, I mean, I've done that with certain words about the Jewish community, or about like
Mhm.
Romani people as well.
Mhm.
Um, that's kind of like a few years ago at this point, but I remember this happening and being like, I don't even use these words that often, but I did not know. Like, I just thought they were innocuous parts
Yes.
of our language,
Exactly.
because I just wasn't educated on that. And so I found myself being like, I'm so sorry for saying that. But then being like, this isn't really, this person's bringing it up to me to let me know. And I should just be really thankful to them. Obviously, apologize if I insulted them, but like,
Mm-hmm.
kind of move on and be like, okay, like, I definitely didn't know that. And I wouldn't have used those words if I knew that. So
Exactly.
obviously, I will correct that.
Yeah, exactly. And
And
like
the thing is,
literally it happened the other day.
in real life, you'll tell
Mm-hmm.
people like, "Oh, it actually has origins in this," and they're like, "Oh," like they'll laugh about it and like not really
Yeah.
care.
And it's but isn't that weird
Isn't
again?
that really
Isn't it weird?
weird?
Like
It's really weird.
it's so bizarre to think about your
Just not caring about
right.
that.
Like how could you not care? How could you not care that this and it's I do understand and we have talked about this so much, but how it is so deeply ingrained into our language,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like how deeply
Yeah.
ingrained it is into
Well,
just the everyday lexicon.
the answer I get, or the response I get a lot, is like, "Well, I don't mean it that way, so like it doesn't
But
matter."
right,
It's just about what
it
your
just doesn't
values are.
matter.
It's like, I would
Yeah.
rather not take the time to edit something I say all the
Yes.
time, versus respecting a community that I probably don't interact with.
Right.
That's what I mean, is like, oh, well,
Yes.
I don't mean it that way, and I don't know anyone who would be offended by that, to be
Right,
honest.
which is
Like, I
just
don't
not an
interact.
excuse. It's just
Yeah,
not an excuse.
it's not an excuse, and it kind of shows how narrow your circle is.
Yes.
Like, I'm never going to interact with someone from the Jewish community, so I can say this all I want, for example. It's
Exactly.
like, that's kind of wild. That,
Yes.
like, what?
No, I literally have to talk to my mom about this a lot. She's getting much better about it, but I've had to tell her multiple times. And my mom's friend the other day said something like used the other word for Romani people that like
Uh-huh.
and she was like, "Well, I have a friend who's Romani, didn't say Romani, and said like
Right.
that's what they prefer." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what they call each other.
Yeah, like, they could
That's
they
different.
could say that if they want.
You are not Romani. You should not say that
Hello?
word."
Yeah, exactly.
And she's like so defensive about it. And I was like, "It's not that hard because I know it's not a word you use often." So, like I'm
Right.
around you enough that I know it's not hard. Like
Mm,
I know you don't say that. Like you could just not.
I know,
But
yeah.
very defensive, continued to be defensive, didn't take anything that I said into account.
I think it's very difficult for our parents' generation to,
Yeah,
because they're kind of like, what do you mean? I've gone my entire life without anyone telling me this, so why would you be right? you
exactly.
know?
And it's like you're a child, you don't know. It's like,
Right.
no, I'm a child, I do know. I
It's
know
like,
better than you.
I exactly
Actually.
know.
It's like I actually like have learned about this.
Right.
People are talking about this and how
Mm.
bad these idioms, these like words that are actually slurs
Yeah,
are.
would you
Like
believe they are?
yeah, it's just so interesting and like I do try to like with my mother specifically, not my mom's friend, but like with my mom, I do remind her anytime it comes up. Again, she's much better now, but it's
Mm.
taken a long time to
I
get to
wonder
this point.
if people are very attached to, I don't know, jokes that they make.
Mhm.
I can't relate to that.
Yeah,
I would like my humor to be ever evolving.
exactly.
I don't know. Hot take.
It's
But like, I feel like if something I'm saying that I used to think was funny is actually outdated and offensive,
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, there's plenty of other things to joke about.
Exactly.
Or there's plenty of words to use for things too.
Absolutely.
I still struggle with crazy sometimes. I think because my
Mhm.
parents say it a lot.
Mhm.
Sri Lankans say it a ton. It's just like a normal part of their language and how they talk about people, situations, etc.
Mhm.
Um, So I've gotten a lot better, but then people here at school say it a lot as well.
Again,
So
wild.
yeah,
Future
wild.
doctors. I'm just like, y'all should absolutely know better.
And I definitely brought it up in a small group discussion about diversity and inclusivity and things like that. And I was trying to say like, oh, I've been trying to sort of edit the words that I use, and I brought up crazy as an example because I thought that was one of the more innocuous ones,
right?
At least in people's perspective, like that wouldn't be an offensive word. So I brought crazy up and saying like I've been trying to use the word crazy less, and people were like, "What? How? Like how can you possibly do that?"
What do you mean?
And I'm like, I don't know, bonkers.
Even
wild.
bonkers is not good, but like
really?
Wild, yeah,
Is
bonkers is still
good?
bad.
Oh my god. Is whack okay? I mean,
Whack,
I feel like
it's fine.
I feel like it's a little appropriative. but I do say whack a lot.
Same. I do too. I like purely replaced it with wild.
Yeah, I do too.
Until I could think of other things to say. Like, even if I was saying it a lot, wild was my go-to.
I'm okay with saying wild
just to replace the word with something else.
Yeah. And people say wild a lot anyway, so it kind of works.
It fills the same role, in language. I get it.
Yeah. So, unless you're talking down about a person, which means you probably shouldn't be saying what you're saying.
Absolutely should not use wild in that context because that's rude.
Yeah.
Again, rude.
Yeah, exactly.
But people are okay with being rude, apparently. I don't know.
Guess. But I mean, I understand that I was probably the same amount of mean just a few years ago.
Yeah, same.
So, yeah,
absolutely same.
I don't know how other people are gonna get better at that.
I don't know.
I hope they do it before they become doctors, but
right. The lack of empathy is actually really interesting to me.
Oh no.
Because that's what it is, right? Like, it's a basic lack of empathy for people who are not in the same situation as you.
Absolutely. I'm so, it just boggles my mind. I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah. Like, how hard is it to respect someone who is differently abled than you are? Someone who is of a different culture that's been, like, rejected, cast aside, ostracized.
Right.
For hundreds of years. Like, how hard is it to respect someone else's life experience and, like, what they say? I just, like, don't understand that. It's like having one friend of that culture does not absolve you of any sin. Like,
what do you mean?
Your token Romani friends? No.
Yeah. Also, like, have you said that word around them? Perhaps.
Right. Have you actually ever said that word?
Yeah. At least in the manner that you're saying it.
Yeah.
I don't know. People be peopling. I don't understand.
They do. I don't know, bro. We said in conclusion about half an hour ago. So.
Oh, yeah. What was your conclusion? Oh, that things are getting better?
Yeah, things are looking up.
Yeah, we'll see.
But Aquarius season is hard. We will indeed see.
I hope Pisces season is kinder to us. I hope we find, like, some inspiring art or something to look at. Either a movie or, like, a book or something. I could use something like that. Something inspiring.
I agree.
If you can find something, let me know.
I will. I think we need to hit Bretman's book for Pisces season, if I'm being honest.
I would love to read that book for Pisces season. Let's do it. I
kind of just want to get the audiobook, though, because I want to hear Bretman read it to me.
Oh, I forgot that he recorded the audiobook.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably so good.
It probably is really good. I would love to hear Bretman read me that.
Okay, that will work for me, actually. That would be easier.
Thanks so much for listening to Two Cups Between. If you would like to tweet at us or interact with us in any way, our Twitter is 2 Cups Between. That's the number 2 Cups Between. If you would like to send us an email with questions, comments, whatever you like, that email is 2cupsbetween@gmail.com. Again, the number 2 cupsbetween@gmail.com.